some of their core players that you can never really count them out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get underway in our consolidation finals here between Sharks and MIBR through the lower brackets as they both were dropped down here. Sharks dropped MIBR and then Bravos took down the Sharks. So it's going to be Shiz to break open the deadlock and claim first blood. Downstairs on the secret staircase, 2 players there, and Exit is doing what he can as well, even while Flashbang forces away Reels in, makes this a tentative endeavor for the rest of the T's to push in, and from hell they will pivot in additionally. MIBR take the first pistol and they make it look simple.
Yeah, again, just to kind of talk about their last matchup, it was a situation on Nuke where it was Made in Brazil's first time playing it as a 5, and they actually did have a 9-round CT side that they did start in the defense in that match, but they just could not hold off Sharks. They were unable to get their own offense going, so wound up losing that game as they only got the 5T round, so wound up losing 14-16. We did see them, though, look improved yesterday on Nuke. That's for sure against Imperial. So maybe as the tournament's going, as they're getting more reps on official matches on Nuke, they're starting to be coming together a little bit more. And that's certainly the start they needed.
I think they were the favorites for a reason as well. When you look at some of the stats, it doesn't bode a necessarily great picture against Sharks, but just know what MIBR are capable of. Their ceiling seems so much higher. They have that experience on players like Bolts. Has been such a
assessment. Like, both teams have something going for them, Vince, right? I mean, again, Sharks owns the head-to-head, the better recent results, but in this tournament, Made in Brazil have had probably a couple of players perform a little bit better individually overall than some of the players over on Sharks. And, again, they just look like they turned the corner a little bit yesterday to get here. Had a pretty dominant win yesterday.
Definitely give them confidence coming into this game. Some of that pressure... Maybe he's just sharpening that senses a little bit more. Point to prove, and Exit just sprays them down alongside Yell. It is an eco round, can't get too carried away, but still, that's going to just bolster up that confidence that little bit more.
Yeah, it's big, because not only you're winning that round, but you're doing it clean, so you're not having to rebuy any weaponry that's going to allow you to bolster that economy, keep those rifles in play against the full buy that's coming up here from Sharks. We do see the AKs out on everyone. And again, Exit, we kind of talked about not one of the normal heavy lifters of this team when it comes to the fragging department, but has been this tournament, has been the second best player after Bolts, actually, and one of the top 5 players in the tournament so far. So, good to see him get going early.
Brazilians over on the T side, looking to try and get aggressive. Slight gap in the smoke. Will afford Yell. No kill, but at least information that he can give to the rest of his teammates. Meanwhile, the other 2, Luca and Pank, making moves towards main area. This is actually an area on the T side that MIBR had so much success yesterday, and the same could be said for Sharks. They've taken down Exit, but Shiz still stands tall with 2 before he gets traded out. Cello steps up to the plate, delivers, and with both the remaining T's pretty vulnerable and weak, and the bomb also spilled down, this is looking like it may go in the favor of the CTs and this defense. Reels in stuck in the vents, hasn't had a great tournament statistically speaking. And I think he may have just caught a glimpse of the play, but he knows that his aim's going to be all over the place on that ladder.
I'm actually shocked Bolts didn't see Reel. He looked at the vents, I thought. So I would have expected him to kind of get the read that Reels' vents, but he hasn't. Luckily for him, Reels did not come on up. Actually goes out. To the fact that they do not have any money, so at least they'll have 1 rifle in the next round to kind of play off of, unless he's trying to do something sneaky, as he is indeed crawling back into the lobby area with the AK. May get in behind, but will he check the right side of Squeaky Hall? It's that kill, but he's low on health.
13 HP, yeah. Bolts instantly can just turn his attention towards the squeaky door, and although it is quite a lot of damage, it still will be Sharks falling on their sword and not really able to punish this either. They could go in for a force, but it wouldn't be great at all.
Yeah, maybe Tech 9s is the call here. A little halfway approach. Give yourself a chance to pose a threat, but make sure you get a full buy next round, and that does seem to be the same conclusion that they have found out. As we do see 3 Tech 9s, an Eagle, and a P250. I feel like that round really came down to JNT, who came out hut, not being able to pick up the site player. That is what allowed Made in Brazil to get 1 step ahead in that exchange in that one in the round, in my opinion.
Damage done from Cello, who will turn tail, just dart back towards the B site. Shiz steps up, will fall down to Zevi though, but Yell here with the Org should be favorite to just clean this one up. They're going to a couple of frags. Bomb gets spilled, runs out of ammunition, but has an incendiary to funnel away a push, and also that should extend towards the bomb. Actually doesn't, so JNT can pick up the bomb and charge back down ramp. There are still some available options for the Sharks, albeit does feel like they're living on borrowed time.
Yeah, I feel like their one option is to smoke lower and try to get a plant and get that additional fun. I mean, that's really all I see on the table for them here when you're in a 2 versus 4 against a fully bought out Made in Brazil. And Cello, his position is probably not even going to allow them to get in and get that plant. Yeah.
They did have these sort of layers of players down on the Hell area, so where one fell, another 2 were there to watch it down. So yeah, as we said, Sharks just with some Tech 9s, they will have an AWP in play, and it felt like this was always a turning point in their previous game starts. Once Zevi has his hands on the sniper rifle, good things happen.
Oh, one thing to note, though, as well, Vince, is when Made in Brazil got their 9 rounds on CT side in their first matchup in this tournament, they started down 0-3. Sharks 1 pistol, had the 3-0 start. So the fact that Made in Brazil are already up this high, and they owned the gun rounds last time around, there's a chance for them, if they can keep that pattern, to dominate.
Zevi is already making inroads on the lobby, but the smoke will skew his vision. Looking to rescue away this 4-0 rough start. I've slowed it down though. MIBR some well-placed utility, and they still have plenty surplus with over a minute to play with. So they've done a good job of actually fending away the Sharks and stopping that early aggression.
Yeah, Sharks still has enough smokes to put a wall down outside if they so choose, or save it for some type of execute. We do see a smoke being thrown down deeper. Yes, it's that deeper line of smokes towards Big Garage. No CT playing up close on red, so no way to really do anything about this. They don't play off the smoke wall, use it as more of a feint, and also to send a couple of players out, maybe looking for some type of pinch lower play if they can get ramp room, which there are a few players heading that direction. I think Cello is kind of keeping tabs, but not committed. Yell is already in the lower site. Gonna get up top here, definitely a good position if he can get in Raptors, and Shiz is on a flank fence. Oh, it's been busted. Oh no, Cello!
Busted open, but now the information across, but it's not really that valuable any longer because they keep losing players. Yell can maybe put an end to the rot.
What? Yell was, you could tell what Yell was thinking, right? Trying to wait it out. Thought he wasn't spotted. Thought maybe he could kind of wait, try to get the bomb down, maybe went off the clock. But yeah, he got sniffed out pretty quickly there and taken down. And yeah, it's a little tough, obviously, Shiz. I feel like if you're going to flank, you can't Thunderfoot like that. If he would have been a little bit slower, I think maybe he could have actually pulled it off. And I think the other issue was just Cello not being able to get down into lower sight. I'm kind of surprised he got caught up in ramp like that, Vince. I'm not sure what held him up there on that doorway. I feel like once Shiz gets caught and Turnpike players not facing, I feel like you just have to get out of there, get lower with Yell.
A huge part of that, though, for me is Shiz, as you said. There was 22 seconds left. They have the elbow, they have downstairs with Yell on the site. Like, there was no rush. I don't understand it. Even if they allow a few players down ramp, you then have a fast rotation that's pincered them in, and this is it here, where Shiz dies. Then they overextend, they overpeak, and the round just falls into place. This is what Yell was waiting for. Now, initially, I thought that Pank was the player that jumped up and headshot him, but Pank was actually back in the control room.
Ah, okay.
So I thought he actually just jumping, like, headshotted him.
Yeah, the only thing I could think about the Cello situation is maybe he didn't back up because since Yell was playing, like, behind Silo, maybe he thought he'd get shot in the back from window or something like that because it was obviously, like, a pinch play. So maybe that's why he didn't want to try to fall back into the lower side. Either way, it just didn't work out at all for Made in Brazil. Sharks able to make a nice little play there with that outside smoke wall and just getting a multi-prong attack on that lower site. Gets them their first round of the half. Both economies are sitting a little low, Vince. I mean, this round could have a lot of value. Could be forcing either team to save if they take an L here.
MIBR are definitely struggling right now. They're being submerged down to 2 kits, but a lack of utility on Cello. Firepower also a little bit blunt with no AWP. And outside control now being attained again and gathered. Bolts will be going downstairs to head towards the secret staircase. We saw him have a lot of success there yesterday. against Imperial.
Certainly was a big factor in their victory, that is for sure. We are indeed seeing Sharks putting a lot of personnel towards outside. They have left one at Squeaky Hall. Looks like they're trying to maybe attack Heaven here. There are 3 players on the upper site for the CT side, and Bolts coming up through Secret. Spots a couple going up towards Heaven, gets one, but not the other, but at least is able to give that information over. That's a big goal to lose, though, for Exit.
Yeah, exactly, and that puts so much more pressure on Yell. Now, Shiz at least does come back with one, but there's too many angles for him to watch out for. He gets overrun by Zevi. JNT was also in there, who now goes and finalizes the bomb plant. And yeah, that was the moment. I think the player that ended up dying to Heaven was the potential determining factor. Like, if that goes the way of MIBR, as you said, with Bolt seeing multiple players pushing up there, could be a completely different ball game. So MIBR have conceded the last 2 rounds, and I don't want to take anything away from Sharks. I think they've played the rounds well, but MIBR feel like they've had a couple of missteps that have allowed Sharks to get in, really.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You know, I think it just hurt that Bolts wasn't able to get away, you know, going for that second kill and not getting it. You know, if he just gets the kill and stays alive in Secret and relays information, could be, you know, a constant thorn in Sharks' side going forward. Or obviously if he just wins the second fight, then it's a whole different ball game because it gains an even bigger advantage and they're not able to attack Heaven the same way. And, you know, again, Exit had his chance here as well against Real, but couldn't make it happen, was worried about Mini. And so, again, it's these multi-pronged route attacks that Sharks are implementing these last couple of rounds that are starting to net benefit. You can tell that they're, you know, a team that has a playbook for this map on the T side. They kind of know what types of strats they want to run. They are a little bit diverse, I would say, as far as what types of plays they can call. And we've seen a couple of different smoke wall variations outside. We've seen a couple of different splits, so they're clearly fluent on the map.
Oh, no doubt. It's an issue that maybe Imperial ran into a few times yesterday when MIBR made their tweaks on the CT side. They couldn't really come up with a plan B or C. We've already seen from Sharks, there's a lot of different tells. Now Cello, one of the only rifles they have, has put down one frag. Yell able to capitalize onto Luke, who did right peek through. Zevi swats away any ramp aggression. Yell still alive, but it is a scout. And he stood on top of fire. So he has to dart away. Post plant comes in much closer than MIBR were probably hoping for. And Zevi spins around and deals with Exit. With the USP, had to land multiple shots and hasn't even really softened Zevi up. It's the HE from downtown that puts him to 47. But with this post plant and the gun so brutal on MIBR, it feels like this round is going to be coming to a rest sooner rather than later. And it's Pank. And it sprays down Yell. And that's 3 rounds in a row now for the Sharks.
Starting to get going here on their attack, that's for sure. Certainly that round, a little bit of an easier time considering Main Brazil's economy, who are now back onto a full buy. Still no op-out, though, for them on the CT side. For Yell, the guy who would be toting that weapon. Has the AUG instead, which I think just provides him a little bit more diversity when he has to rotate, maybe, and deal with, you know, different situations where maybe the op isn't going to be as optimal. So I don't necessarily mind that difference. Bolt's trying to change things up with aggression. Oh.
Oh, no, no.
Oh, no. What? Okay, I thought for a second they didn't know where he was. I was like, hello? I'm actually shocked he committed to that, because I think he could have held back and let them pass. They weren't checking. Tough to say.
The round's not done just yet. There's still 4 players, very capable players on MIBR, including Cello. On top of the B site, Yell is watching from a different angle as Secret. We haven't seen them use this too many times.
He's actually kind of flanking them. You know, he was able to get in behind the Secret push after Bolts goes down outside. So he's just trying to wait. Tank checking for the flank. It's going to find it, but unfortunately it cost his life. That evens things back up. Yell's able to fall back, and he gets caught by JNT, and that kind of alleviates that pressure and gives Sharks a little bit more comfort to pursue this lower site, or maybe even double back together, or maybe even look to attack main. It's all kind of on Cello now to guard lower. They are actually pivoting back to upper, but there are a couple CTs in place. Shiz actually coming through Turnpike. May be able to get here in time to help Exit. But with the JNT going Heaven Vents, this is looking dangerous for Main Brazil. There's just so many angles that Sharks can attack from here.
Time is starting to get a little bit fine, though. 25 seconds left. So if MIBR could tee off with a frag or two, that could definitely put things into an awkward position. There it is from Exit. Here comes the death from above. No, the position you called from, but Shiz using the Hut of Sanctuaries, drop the bomb down. JNT is on the lurk, but now has to deal with main. Shiz trades out for another player. 8 seconds to go, and JNT is going to have to stick the bomb. He may try and fake this to draw Shiz out into the open, but JNT is way behind in terms of HP. Still sprays down onto Shiz, though, and still will live to tell the tale. A big clutch for Sharks.
Yeah, I feel like he had to get out Hut while the plant was being committed. That would have given him a couple of different ways he could peek his opponent and make it a little bit tougher on the planter from feeling comfy in that situation. But as you said, thought maybe there was a chance at a fake, though. With the clock away it was, he couldn't really fake it. So there's a couple of, chances for Main Brazil here where they haven't been able to capitalize. Meanwhile, Sharks again continue to run a nice D side here. 4 rounds in a row and getting Main Brazil back onto a save. So a chance to take the lead for the first time this game. Cello, though, he has a little bit of a different option.
Always helps when you can pass the Eagle Bullet through the head. Luca may get baited into a false sense of security, but Yell does not capitalize. Exit in the meanwhile tries to make some moves through on Squeaky, but it's pretty much been bypassed by the T's aggression. They're already moving down ramp. So Boltz does have the opportunity to maybe put a couple of shots down range before he gets nullified. He's going to get found from the back, but Pank actually will go down to his hands. Now in AK Trade's hands, things start to get a little bit more interesting. But they're doing their due diligence, smoking off the key choke points. They still have to contend with the window. The control room is certainly an element that Boltz has under his control right now until Reels in takes him out of the equation, and well, this round has fallen into place. Not without its slips and slides though, Dust. I mean, at least they made it somewhat close.
Yeah, if Boltz could have gotten something out of control room, then, get it into a 2v2, you start scratching your head, start kind of wondering how things are going to go, but this seems pretty straightforward now. Sharks have the time to clear out control side, make sure it's safe for the plant to go down from Reels in, make sure they have him covered. You can just plant away from Decon. Only they have to worry about to ramp. Oh, his dump truck is hanging out there a little too far, Vince. But no problem. Still get a victory on the T side.
Does mean 3 casualties though, which is more than Sharks would have been anticipating. MIBR additionally finally have their AWP. It feels like it's the first time they've had it. They've had a couple of scouts, but now they can upgrade to the big green.
This is the first time we've seen an op on the CT side of this map. It's going to be Cello doing it as well instead of Yell. Definitely has that track record of being an opper in the Brazilian scene, but Cello is certainly a guy who... What happened to Pank?
I think he may have been naded, then mollied, like, instantly.
Huh. Okay. Tough loss. Luca trying to sneak out and try to even it out, but Shiz says, nah, won't be having that. And I was trying to get at it, Cello's definitely a guy who's a hybrid type player. And, well, you see him find success with the op right there.
Yeah, additionally, AWPing on ramp can be such a powerful spot to use. Sometimes you do need a secondary unit there with you as well, or someone playing sort of the lurk / floater from heaven towards the L turn. So maybe something, if they realize Cello's going to be playing the AWP a lot on ramp, and this isn't just a one-off, they may try and exploit this by playing really aggressively towards that position.
Yeah, it's a situation where, like, Cello's never really been known for the op, like, too much, but within, like, the last 3 to 6 months, he's been picking it up a lot more than any other point in his career. Like, if you look at his weapon statistics, it went from, a situation maybe back in, like, 2020 or 2019 where such a small fraction of what he was using to now becoming, like, near 20% type weapon for him as far as implementation.
Excellent round from Shiz, though, just locking it down. They had the option of 2 AWPs, they decided against it. Secondary AWP was next to Squeaky, so they're going to stick with what worked.
So here we go. We're all square events. Main Brazil finally able to get back on the scoreboard and tie things up immediately after Sharks got their first lead in the game. Again, their last half, 9-6 in favor of Main Brazil. Different way to get there, though. Again, it was Sharks with a hot start last meeting. This time it was Main Brazil off to a good one, but the great response out of Sharks. A little bit of damage exchange early here. Luke actually taking a ton. Now JNT's actually out.
Second consecutive round that the first frag has gone by and large for free across the Sharks. Last time, I believe it was Pank got destroyed in Squeaky, and now it's JNT through the hot wall. Reels in over the corpse of his fallen comrade. He's going to try and return the favor, but that HE is going to fall on deaf ears. No one interested. And just like that, Sharks pull the plug. We've already seen them go downstairs a number of times, but it's typically been faster than this. And it's not like they have tons of utility. They've got 3 smokes and have to use pretty much all of those to get the cross. And Yell is watching with the AWP. So already we've seen that little change, that adjustment come in, Dust, as you're expecting to see.
Yeah, again, they've been pretty dynamic on their attack, on how they approach things, that's for sure. Yell backing off with the op this time. Having it instead of Cello and CT spawn now. Cross is going to happen with that smoke wall. Yell can't really get any vision through or around it. But they certainly know that with that wall being down, that it's a possibility. And Bolts is indeed watching for it from the decon side of the back halls. Spots 2, gets 1 of them. And dinks Heavy down to 13 HP, so still advantage for Main Brazil. That's a big catch, though. Cello caught in awkward space. Evens it back up.
What an odd decision. They had the player advantage. Will not be allowing Zevi safe passage back over on the double doors. Gets shut down, but Luca returns fire. Good, well-placed Molotov will keep the cavalry at bay. Now Exit, and his position is known. Is the last man alive. This looked like MIBR's round, honestly, and it's just fell into the hands of Sharks. They take the lead.
Yeah, it's one of those things as a commentator where sometimes it's a little bit hard to know whether it's more the team winning the round or more the opposition losing the round. And you try to, not be pessimistic. You try to, highlight the positives, but let's be real. Maybe Brazil dropped the ball on that round. They had the chance. They had the opening pick. Bolts gets a nice trade back hauls. They have a 4-on-3, and then they just get stuck in no man's land with a couple of their players and just forfeit up the advantage. I mean, again, where credit's due, Sharks is, again, we've been talking about playing a good structured T-side that has, multiple different looks. There's definitely no one-trick pony here, but Main Brazil certainly could have had that and should have had that.
No, I'm in total agreement with you, honestly. The Cello getting caught the way he did, a lot of odd decisions, but it has been a case of consistency in that respect regarding the entirety of this tournament. We've seen a lot of head-scratching rounds, especially the first time that these two teams met each other on the first day.
Yep.
Where MIBR were head and shoulders ahead and let vast leads kind of slip away.
Yeah, I feel like Main Brazil have definitely had chances to maybe even at this point in time kind of be up like 7-4.
Yeah.
Certainly that round was a loss that shouldn't have been, and there was maybe 1 or 2 other rounds that were also an opportunity to win that they couldn't close out on. But testament for Sharks for being crafty and seizing opportunity. They're going to get caught here outside, though.
Oh, Bolt's in a deadly duel to the death. Needs to stay alive, but Luca from a different angle with the overview takes him down. 4-play-4, Yell in a position where he doesn't really feel comfortable whatsoever. He has to watch Hot, Main, and Heaven by his lonesome, and they're playing in for the bait element of Exit. But obviously, Exit cannot see Luca's spot right now, so Yell has to play this odd off angle, and with the Molotov going down, they are going to be checking out these angles one by one, and in a simultaneous, just systematic shutdown as the site gets locked into position, and Sharks make that look so simple.
Yeah, I think Yell needed to do something else. I think staying in that position with an op was just kind of asking for being uncomfortable. I'm not sure what else he really could have done, but maybe having Exit get on top hut and watch Heaven from there and let Yell be the one kind of watching Mini from the floor. I don't know. It just seemed odd to watch him on middle rafter with an op. I don't know if there was a chance for the maneuver somewhere else, but it just seemed untenable when you consider how they were getting boxed in. And again, though, it's a testament to Sharks constantly being able to, have multiple routes to the site. They're never one-tracked. They're able to, put that multi-angle pressure on Main Brazil and make it hard for them to feel comfortable, rotating or seeking new positions when their initial plans falter.
Yeah, I mean, that defensive round, it just didn't seem like MIBR were a team. They were just individuals playing their own little angles, their own little spots, not really playing off each other, no crossfires.
Yeah, nothing was complimentary there. I mean, they were all, like you said, on their own little island playing awkward spots that were very uncomfortable. And what is... Hello? Why?
Element of surprise, I suppose, but with players up close, they definitely heard the CTs burning. So you don't really have the surprise factor anymore. You've just lost a ton of health instead.
That is crazy.
A shot from Zevi continues to be quite the nuisance with his sniper rifle with the AWP, and in doing so, and the weakened MIBR up against them, the Sharks go from being at a pretty vast deficit at the start of this half to leading whatever happens, assuming that they do put the final nails in the coffin onto Cello, Exit, and Bolts. Nice shot from Exit. Will have to be one of many. AK trades hands. He is full HP and does have Kevlar, and with Bolts putting a bit of a mess into this round, maybe it's doable, but Bolts has now been captured by Luca's AK. And Exit can't really do anything to rescue this bleak situation. Nice shot, though. Very nice shot onto Luca, but he doesn't have a kit, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's really the one thing that puts a damper on any hopes at clutching this. Maybe, just maybe, if they make a mistake and give him a couple of quick looks, but you can see that JNT is being very smart about how he shoulder peeks that, not giving him an opportunity, and so, yeah, he will just have to kind of back off, save this AK. Money certainly is low for Made in Brazil, though with the loss bonus coming up, they still should be fine for the most part. Meanwhile, like you said, Sharks surging now ahead. They've only dropped one round in the last 9 played, so they have been on an absolute tear since Made in Brazil's 4-0 start.
Nice shot here from Exit through the smoke. Just good game sense, really. Anticipating a player pushing that location. Is going to be a buy, but MIBR will be thinking of what could have been. As you said, at one point, it could have been 7-4, and that's not even taking into account the changes that would have made to the economy of the T's. It could have maybe been like an 8-3, honestly. But here we are. Up against it are Made in Brazil. It's those 2 players again, Dust, the 2 that you touched on, Luca and Zevi, that are leading the charge. But to be fair to Sharks, no one's really lagging behind. Everyone's having their moments.
No, that's a fair assessment. Like, they've all done what they've needed to when they've been called upon. Big round here. You feel like if Sharks win this and tap out Main Brazil's economy, they are on cruise control for 10-5, which is kind of crazy considering they were down 0-4. This would be an improvement upon their last T-side performance against Made in Brazil and that 16-14 victory from a few days ago. In fact, a substantial increase in output. It was 9-6 last time around in favor of Made in Brazil. That's already way gone.
MIBR's T-side yesterday against Imperial was pretty damn good, but obviously a very different game. Nice trade back and forth between Bolts and Luca. Molly keeps the secret position at bay, but Luca decides to overextend, peeks by himself, no chance of avenging frag, especially with the smoke down on the squeaky door. They've somewhat given the advantage across now, but Cello peeks out a bit too much, gets punished. Shiz straight back in with his own, and now the bomb's been dropped down, and the round will fall into place. Finally, MIBR back on the score sheet. What will feel like the first time in forever.
Yeah, again, it was basically, it wasn't quite an 8-round winning streak from Sharks, but it was only 1 round fit in 9 from Made in Brazil, so definitely, as you were kind of indicating, a drought that has now finally been dealt with. Really could use this next one, though, to keep this half as close as possible. Disappointing if you're Made in Brazil to get the 4-0 start and be stuck in a position like this, so yeah, certainly they're looking to do a little bit more here.
What?
I don't even know, man.
What was the game plan for MIBR there? They're just out in the open. They're not even covering each other.
No clue. I mean, we've seen so many of that, Vince, let's be honest.
Oh, shiz. Hello. Oh, that's the bomb. That's the bomb as well. JNT goes down, and the bomb is under control. Now, Reelsin has the angle where Cello will not be anticipating this whatsoever, and that will be Cello falling down, and now Shiz is in a world of hurt. He is going to have A phenomenal round to somehow salvage this one. He does have a teammate in the form of Exit above him, though, on the roof. A 2-play-4, and it's an awkward retake for Sharks, but they do have the man advantage.
The issue is while Exit's watching Shiz is outside, they have to worry about lobby as well as roof push through ladders. So Shiz is still fine here, man. Lines up a couple, though, only good for one, leaving Exit in a tough 1v3.
A lot of damage inflicted, though, but Exit's now been spotted. There's the first bomb, gets spilled down again. Can pop flash into a play, but they've picked the bomb up. And now they scurry away to the site. 30 seconds, gonna go straight for the plant. They know that he can't get up close just yet, so a potential 1v1 as the bomb was getting planted has now been neutralized. And Exit has to remedy this to try and get MIBR to a 7th round come the second half. And he's got awkward positions to contend with. Still full HP, still has the kit in his hands, and a smoke as well. Maybe he can isolate the two defenders now with a well-placed bit of utility, but he's deciding to go in dry. Try and get the element of surprise onto these two. He's taking so much time, and it won't be needed anyway as Pank passes the bullet into his head, and Sharks take a 9-6 lead.
Yeah, big T side out of Sharks, especially considering they were down 0-4. They come back with a vengeance and just put on a nice display of tactics and team play. Whereas when you look at the opposing side, despite having a great beginning to this game, Made in Brazil just looked a bit lost towards the end of the half. Dropped the ball in a couple of key situations, seemed to lack a little bit of sharpness and some of their own communications and working together. And there you have it. Sharks with a nice lead as we head into the second half. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we will finish off Nuke, so stay tuned.
They're looking at us, an audience. Keep telling us what we can do, but here we are, showing them, making them wish they were you. We've heard the most when it comes to this. Yeah,
Well, we expected a fairly tentative and somewhat tense matchup with so much on the line, and I think the game has delivered in that prospect. It hasn't necessarily been the cleanest or the most efficient Counter-Strike. It's been entertaining, sometimes for the wrong reasons, but Sharks won't care because they have a huge advantage going through into their CT side.
Yeah, it is. I don't even know how to describe Made in Brazil's play in that half. Moments where you feel like everything's going exactly how it should, and then other moments where you feel like someone missed the memo.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. CT side from MIBR, but let's see if they can find the cure and the remedy for this. They've already taken a lot of damage outside. Cello spilled down to 17. Trying to erode the HP bars, and it's a bit of a fake. MIBR did fake as if they're rushing down Secret. Now they're doubling back, headed towards main, where they're lining up for Pank. No points of damage have been done to the CTs as of yet, although a bunch of bullets have been tossed down range. Now the frags are being collected calmly, cleanly, efficiently from Sharks, and it's all gone horribly wrong. They tried the fake, and instead they run into a stack.
Yeah. Again, I feel like some of these rounds that just lack direction. You know, when I look at that, it didn't even look like a design fake. It looked like a weird spur of the moment call, and Pank was just so patient, did so much damage this round. Not sure how many kills he wound up with, maybe just the one, but just his vision, his communication, his damage certainly had impact that round. And remember, Pank had a pretty cold start this map, if I remember correctly. It seemed like he, you know, took a little bit to get off the starting blocks, but he is now right up there with anyone else on his team, basically. There's only a 4-frag spread between top and bottom on that team, so you kind of indicated, you know, early in the first half that no one from Sharks was really lagging behind. That's really held true for quite some time now.
Yeah, and that was one of our concerns coming into this game. If anything, that maybe MIBR had more elements and more dangers and threats, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And one of the worrying things for me, Dust, is it's one of the best players on the server statistically and individual skill-wise. Cello, who's actually bottom. He's just not really got off the mark. Pank again, speak of the man, he'll deliver, and it's on to Cello. Yes, it's against Glocks and P250s. This is what we expect. But let's see if they can just make sure this is as efficient and minimal investment as possible, and that's pretty much the way it's gone. Very nice aim from the entire team, and a 5-round lead has came into fruition.
Yeah, I just feel like the disciplined team plays better for Sharks right now. Like, even that round, again, Pank is patient. He doesn't keep committing for the fight on top of main. He fades back into big garage, allows for his rotations, and just doesn't overface. So, good to see that restraint as the Sharks will go up 11-6. Buying up, though, will be made in Brazil. They will come into this with a potential slight firepower advantage, as there's an MP9 and a couple of FAMAS in play still for Sharks. See some nades and utility tossed outside. No one really taking too much heat, though. Cello almost catching Zevi there towards Secret, but not quite.
MIBR exploring their options towards ramp as the time being, but with good and well-placed smokes and a big headshot again from Pank, who tries to go in for 2. Cello survives on 2 HP. So fortunate to slither away from that, but the bomb's been dropped down in the Molotov, and Reelsin has this down. MIBR again are in so much trouble.
They look so like, why is the bomb peeking first? At least Balt's able to get it back. Reelsin doesn't chase too much. He kind of allows them to fade back. They know that they have Cello weak. They know that they have man advantage. They know that they have a good position with Luca inside hut position, so no need to overcommit. And Luca kind of sniffing around, able to get into space, and I can't believe Cello's picked that up. That's massive. That gets it back into a 3-on-3 and gives main Brazil some hope, but it might be short-lived.
Yeah, it feels that way. Time is starting to dwindle down. 35 seconds left, and with Cello on 2 HP after his earlier excursion against Pank, one bullet will feel very deadly and costly to MIBR should it land on that man. 25 seconds now. Zevi in the hut, and JNT up close with a FAMAS. Molly's not going to trouble him. It's going down the vents. They're clearly not expecting this angle, or are they? Cello still wide swings and takes him down. 12 seconds. Zevi just needs to connect this frag, drop the bomb, and this round is done. And that's exactly what he's done. Flashbang in for good measure. There's no way for Cello to clutch this. It's a hit and run. And Cello will survive on 2, at least gets the bomb planted down for a tiny bit of extra money, but it won't matter because Sharks now have extended their lead again.
It's one of those things, though, I'm a little bit impressed. I mean, Cello got a lot done for 2 HP, man. He got 2 additional kills and almost helped pull something off there. But again, Sharks playing smart, playing the clock, positioning themselves appropriately, and making sure they come out on top when it's all said and done. Now up 12-6. Remember, main Brazil had a 4-0 start. They've only won 2 rounds in the last 14. Oh, Cello. He's going to have to play hard mode again, Vince.
Yeah.
Does it again. What is this?
It's like one of those berserkers, man. The more he gets damaged, the more dangerous he is.
Yeah.
JNT so wants to pull the trigger, and there it is. Finally, Cello's low HP is finalized and finished off, and he had the weapon that they were really banking behind with his assault rifle going the way of extinction. The rest should fall into place. Heavy missing a couple of shots outside, but he hasn't been punished for it just yet. Now he's seen all 3 players, so he can relay that information to the rest of his team. What a shot from exit, though.
Yeah, that was rough from Zevi. Normally pretty spot on, but had a bit of a stinker this round, if we're honest. And Luke is in a bit of trouble. He's facing a lot of people all at once, but he gets... Okay, dude, what is going on this game, dude? I don't know. They get the op back at the very least and win the round, but that was certainly a weird path to travel to get to that destination. As MIBR Brazil really only have one more crack at this, in my opinion. You know, they need to win this, otherwise Sharks goes to 14. They're forced by the rest of the game. So this is kind of do or die at this point for MIBR Brazil. They're so far behind. They seem so inefficient on their trading, and again, they seem to be just taking these kind of weird maneuvers that isn't really showing any cohesiveness.
You know, not to play armchair psychologist or anything, but it does seem to me to be a team that is feeling the pressure a little bit right now. They're not on the same page. They're making some odd decisions. Yeah. I wonder if the whole realization of what's up for grabs is really playing against them, but this time it's aggression. This time it's 2 frags. Luca tried to come down to help his teammate out, but instead he was in an awkward spot. Finished off much better from MIBR. It was nothing too extravagant. Just run out of hut, get the frags, get the plant down, and dictate the pace of the action.
Yeah, they call it crazy timing. They didn't really quite rush as much as Yell kind of slow walked out. He spots a player rotating through mini, and he comes out at the perfect time where the top hut player was just not ready. And so I feel like I don't want to call it pure luck, but I do feel like they caught a timing that's going to be very hard to consistently do. Still around, still a job well done, but it's hard for me to have faith in a true comeback effort until I can see a couple of more rounds like this one where they have a clean victory and, you know, look a little bit more composed. But that is a start. That is a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. I'm in agreement with you. I think Sharks as well kind of just shrug their shoulders and say, fair enough. Like, you got us there, guys.
They know how
these things happen.
I think.
Yeah, exactly. They're not pushing the panic button or anything after that round. And MIBR can't... It'll gain confidence from it, sure. But as you said, it's not something that they can rely on round in, round out. There's no consistency there unless they prove otherwise.
Very true. So here we go, right back into the thick of it. Outside smoke wall does go into play, but there was an incendiary used to kind of block one of them, so there might be some potential gaps that make this smoke wall either need additional smokes to make it safe, or might even give Zevi some opportunities to catch some players crossing, or at least get intel on numbers passing by. I think he may have spotted one jumping, not quite sure.
Good read of the situation, though. I must know that at least a couple Ts are very capable to be downstairs and very probably there.
Yeah, Rielson already making his way back down to lower. Gonna cover the window, may even get rafters all the way behind Silo, which can be a very powerful position for CTs to anchor. Bolt still lingering outside, watching to see if a CT will rotate through Secret. Meanwhile, control room taken by MIBR Brazil, looking to get into this lower site and make things happen. But again, Rielson certainly has a tricky angle, but I'm not sure if he's safe from Chiz if he peeks from Decon. Silo might be blocking that, not quite sure.
30 seconds, reels in, relocates, repositions, may have just caught a glimpse. I thought he saw the player push out through decon, but perhaps not. And don't think it mattered a great deal. Anyway, Bolts just gets the white soul on JNT, who seemed completely caught in Cuckoo Land. I don't know what the plan was there, just caught in transition.
Now just trying to save weapons is Shark. Zevi with the op, able to get his 1 kill onto Bolts. Looking for more, but too easy for Shiz to collect that. Yeah, it felt like Real quickly realized that his position was very vulnerable and then tried to transition out, but did so too late and wound up just getting boxed in. And there was really no supporting cast there to kind of assist him to safety or provide some type of reinforcement. They decided to go for a fight. It's a good play for Made in Brazil. Good take, good Molotov usage on ramp to cut off rotations and really isolate Real on the site. And that's a much better look from Made in Brazil. That's more of a confident round than I was hoping to see. And the economy is low for Shark, so there's a chance for Made in Brazil to start chipping away at this a little bit, Vince. Maybe they can actually get something rolling here.
Yeah, which is why we said, even though with the caveat of that previous round that it's not something you can rinse and repeat from, it does put the economy of Sharks into an awkward position, and it does kick off the comeback trail. Still a lot of twists, turns. Some of the path may be kind of gradually eroded away over the years, but it is there if they can find it. They put themselves in the best possible outcome here to break down Sharks again. There's one M4 they have to try and dodge and pivot behind. In the hands of Luca. Hank's already lost his life outside, and the MIBR are trying to close down quickly on ramp. So everything seems to be going swimmingly at the moment.
Nope.
Of course, even if they are successful here, they still have another 4 rounds before they even get close to Sharks.
Yeah, this is kind of the freebie, so to speak, with Luca having the only rifle on the CT side and mostly USPs in play. Yeah, we'll get the bomb down. Could be a flawless victory here for Made in Brazil, as I don't know that Luca's really looking to do anything more than save this M4. And so indeed it will be, so they can start getting their own economy rolling, start getting a little bit of momentum in their favor. As you said, though, they still have quite a few more boxes to check on this list before we can really start giving them the plaudits of having the comeback. I think that they need to kind of hit that 11 mark before it starts to become real. That is maybe when Sharks start to feel a little bit of stress.
Indeed, and they still have multiple tactical timeouts as well. I wouldn't be too surprised if they call one right now, to be honest. It's that kind of position where you want to be better safe than sorry. 9 rounds now up for MIBR. And the Sharks have more than enough funds to go for an AWP, and pretty much everything they could really want here in terms of utility.
So here we go. Another really big test up here for Made in Brazil. Vince, another full buy round that they must conquer to keep this comeback effort in the right direction. Lots of utilities being exchanged outside of it, of a stalemate so far, though. No one's really taken any heat, and no map control has really been gained either way. Zevi looking to do something a bit different with this op this time, though. Vince looking to go the secret route. Not pressing too much forward, though. Kind of holding a more passive angle.
Oh, MIBR mixing it up. They're getting fast. Reelson's in a ton of problems here. Needs to get something. Flashes, out position. No one on L-turn to help him out either.
Yeah.
And that is a free ramp push towards B site. No one is down here for the Sharks. They're getting here way too late.
Yeah, that's another round where Real's been caught, Vince. It's happened a couple of times, actually, this half already. Now, luckily, Pank able to find Cello. Gets it back into a 4-4 and gives him maybe some hope at this retake. Tease, though, still has some pretty powerful post-plant positions.
Devi's just been battered. 2 players, no one MIBR exit, and Shiz will be feeling worse for wear. Bolts tries his damnedest to hold on to the site, and so far he's been successful in that endeavor. In comes JNT, they're still hungry, they're still on the prowl. They want to take this site down and make it theirs once more, and Luca trades back out. 1-play-1 as Yell is behind the site, trying to desperately create a bit of space to execute from, and Yell wide swings into the peak and secures MIBR with yet another round. Sharks, they'll be gutted they let that one slip.
Indeed they will, and again, I think it comes down to Reelson getting caught up a little bit, you know, and again, that's maybe the second or third time I've seen him kind of put himself on an island and just not really allow himself some type of exit into safety to, you know, get a chance for a rotation and get some assistance, and it's helped Made in Brazil along the way a little bit here, as we're going to see kind of a deco out of Sharks. 1 in P9 for JNT, so a chance for Made in Brazil to hit that 11 mark and, you know, basically put them like one more full gun round away from tying this thing up, basically. I mean, because Sharks would have to save again if Made in Brazil hit 12, more than likely.
Good headshot onto Luca. The Eagle has fallen down by the wayside. Pank Wants to try and navigate through the smoke, gets one onto Shiz. He'll be having some questions of his teammates that had his back covered, or at least he thought they did. And now JNT is making the move up. That's the bomb that's been dropped down as well, and it slides down the staircase into his favor. MP9 tries desperately to get another one, but Cello survives on 10 HP. Zevi, positioning a little bit off, and the timing was against him. Unfortunate, but Cello has shown us so many times, whether it's 2 HP, whether it's 100, his entry fragging is ridiculous.
Yeah, big situation there. Zevi gets one, could be a different story, but now Reel's stuck in a very difficult 1v3. Yeah, Cello is low, but Exit and Bolts are just fine. They've had plenty of time to clear out upper site. They're going to be able to plant safely. They have everything covered. So maybe they should walk away with this. And there it is. 13-11. Full buy coming up, though, for Sharks. And this is the last real hurdle that maybe Brazil have to hit before the tie happens.
Oh, yeah. You know, we were talking before a few rounds ago about how Sharks won't be pushing the panic button. They won't be getting too worried and looking over their shoulder. I think we've reached that point now, Dust. I think we've reached the point where they think, hold on a second. We need to start getting their heads back in here, because otherwise MIBR are going to be on an even keel, and then momentum in their favor. Maybe the pressure starting to mount on to the Sharks. We've seen this double nade stack before. Actually, triple nade stack. We saw it yesterday. I think it was Showtime got obliterated by this. And this time it's Pank. 11 HP. Flick narrowly misses by Zevi. And he will back away to the B site. Or perhaps actually use the vents to navigate back up to A.
Yes, that is seemingly the move. So you're going to see main Brazil start taking some control outside with that smoke wall. They already have Pank down low on HP, so already gaining a slight edge as we traverse into the mid-round. Cello playing opposing side of the smoke wall, trying to see if he can catch someone off guard on main, perhaps, or towards CT spawn. No one quite giving him a look. Pank trying his luck with a bit of a spam, but not connecting with no harm, no foul. Main Brazil now making some progress towards back halls as well with that flash and yells op. Looking to threaten this lower site. Time is ticking, Vince. They're going to have to commit soon. And Zevi is watching lower. Meanwhile, Cello challenges Heaven and gets it. Oh, boy.
Oh.
That's probably it.
A second as well. Cello is such a nuisance, but here's JNT with 3 kills. He's put this back in the way of Sharks. Bolts scratching his head with 15 seconds. Has to try and clear out the cobwebs and clutch this round. Has to go in for the plant. There's a player that's going to be coming in through on the hut side. Any second now, it's Reels in. Just has to hold on. Don't give Bolt separate 1v1s. And Zevi makes sure he doesn't miss this time around. Oh, man, Cello was looking so good, but JNT's triple frag was everything for the Sharks.
Indeed it was. It's a battle of 2 big individual efforts. Cello's certainly making a great stride forward, but JNT matching it and doing even better. A huge hat trick from him in the corner. Surprised he was able to do so. You would think Cello gets that trade easily after the mini players go down, but JNT out-aiming his opposition there and getting the job done. And again, that was an important round. You lose that, it's probably a tie game 13-all because your money's low. Now, they're still not out of the woods yet, Vince. Their economy could get busted here, and it could give Main Brazil still a chance to make something happen, but seems like there's a gap in the smoke wall outside, or at least there seemed to be one. It may be covered now. And yeah, it has been.
I do find myself feeling a similar way to what we said earlier, though, where that was an individual moment of just sheer brilliance from JNT, and without that, it would have been another loss.
Yeah. I feel like there are plenty of alternate realities that exist out there where Cello gets that kill on JNT, and we're in a tie game here soon, 13-13, but not this one, Vince.
And this is the only one that matters. 14-11. MIBR moving down the stairs once again, and they're actually breathing down the neck of B site. Now, they're not sure as to where these CTs are. We've seen a lot of deep and passive positions from the Sharks in previous rounds. So they're treading lightly. Smoke well placed onto control room, plus additionally a Molotov onto decon, but the smoke's being tossed out in return. Molly's also out in return. This allows MIBR to start to pivot in towards the site. Additionally, they have another player up in lobby that is going to be able to flank around the back of the CTs if they're not careful, but they still need to make the arduous trek across to the site and get this bomb planted down. Now it's starting to get planted, or actually it gets denied. It gets completely taken away from Reelsin. He pushes opportunistically like a snake in the grass, springs into action, and with only 15 seconds left, Bolts has to once again try to clutch this, and he's already given this one up. The bomb's in a horrible spot, and MIBR so nearly with the plant, that must have been milliseconds away, have given Sharks 4 map points.
I'm a little shocked they planted so open like that with no smoke cover and also no one keeping an eye on the ramp push to ensure that that plant could go down. I mean, it's a 5-on-5 situation. You have a lot of space in the lower site. It just seemed like maybe they ran out of utility, or I don't know, like attention to detail was missed. Something happened there. It was really odd to see the bomb planted in that position without proper coverage, whether that be utility or his teammates facing ramp. That's a big loss. 4 rounds in a row needed just to get overtime now for Made in Brazil, as Sharks are looking to secure their pick.
Oh, Zevy's getting aggressive as well. We've seen a couple of rifles, but not the AWP pushing this aggressively so far. And he is getting so much information. The intel here is worth its weight in gold. It allows them to stack towards the site, or perhaps outside that little bit more. There's a gap in the smoke, and Pank will be able to see if anyone crosses. There's a clear gap there from his perspective. Do MIBR realize this? Now they start to move in, and it's not required. They didn't need the wall of smokes after all, because they've actually punished Pank.
Zevy able to get his pick, though, into lobby, at least evens it back up here, and they know where all the T's are at. Luka able to rotate through vents as well. Reelsin coming up heaven. They're shutting it down.
Exit and Yell remain. Still time on their side. Luka, though, with the lineup gets one. That may be good enough. Zevy and JNT with a golden opportunity to put this map to bed, to take Sharks into the lead on their choice of Nuke. The Consolidation finals beckon for one of these two teams, and with a place for the major up for grabs, the pressure is on. Now Yell will have the luxury of a post plant and enough time to relocate, reposition. He sees JNT's arm around the corner, may not anticipate both players to be here, but now he's definitely heard Zevy. Yell trying desperately to hold onto this map, to keep it in the way of MIBR. As grenade tossed onto the site, but out comes Zevy. Doesn't fully get punished, but the advantage is so vast in favor now of Yell. And Zevy comes out onto the site and gets sprayed down where he stands. MIBR save 1, 3 more to go.
Wow, what a clutch from Yell. I thought that was game over, if I'm honest. But Yell saves the day. What a Herculean effort from that man. Been a bit quiet, but comes up huge on this. An ace, in fact, I believe, Vince. When it was all said and done, it was kind of drawn out, but at the end of the day, he came out there with it. Pretty nutty.
What a chaotic round as well to clutch, where calmer heads prevail. He's a player that's been around the scene for quite some time. Showing the young guns how it's done, perhaps. It's not that MIBR are lacking experience by any stretch of the imagination. 3 more to go though, Dust.
Yes.
The Sharks' economy, it's in tatters. Should they lose this, MIBR may take us the distance. Zevy, I don't think he's used this position yet. I feel like this is the first time we're seeing it.
Yes.
It does leave you a little bit vulnerable to being pinched on. True.
But does back off of it. Like you said, it is vulnerable. Don't want to overstay your welcome on it. Now here comes that smoke wall outside. Molly to make sure that there could be no secret aggression. Deeper smoke wall towards big garage, giving them a bit more of a pocket of space to work with towards red side. Zevy is going to basically have to do guesswork here with this op. As I mean, Brazil will take into it. looking to threaten back halls with all their players. No one left behind this time around towards lobby, though there could certainly be one left behind outside. As of now, they're all trudging forward, Vince. And there's only really a UMP to defend this. I mean, it's kind of a low buy for Sharks, all things considered. Uh-oh. Smart.
So well played by Pank, and now the cavalry comes in. But at range of this nature, the AKs will prevail. It's insta-headshot versus 2. Very little room for error, but the Sharks are still putting the bodies down. Yell goes down on Decon, and now MIBR have 20 seconds to explode out on the site.
Oh, Rielsen's got to stay alive there, Vince. That gives him a way back into lower now. Back into a 2-on-2. Zevi, though, trying to watch across the op. Hits a nasty flick on the bolts. All on Cello now.
Cello planting open, anticipating this Peter come in. 5 seconds to go. Has enough time if he sticks the bomb right now, but he tickles it instead. And Zevi knows he's calculated everything to perfection. MIBR started this map in such fine form, but ended so abruptly. Sharks 1-0 in our finals.